F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me.
Welcome, everyone, to a wide range of conversations with Rick and Eric.
Yeah,
There's a cat that meows and scares the piss out of me every time.
Nice.
Did you watch that episode of Hoochie Daddies I sent you?
I tried to, and it pissed me off, and I took it off.
Come on, it's the best thing on television right now.
I got like 10 minutes into it. It was incredibly boring, and I turned it off.
Come on, it's ratchet as fuck, and you have to love it.
The intro was like 2 minutes long, and it made me want to kill myself. Like I almost did multiple times.
Come on. How else you gonna hear all these cool shit that we're gonna talk about?
I was just waiting for them to say something funny, and it never came.
I want to hire one of the girls to do the intro to our show.
I hated them.
Come on.
It was terrible.
You can't be hood and queer with us then, I guess.
Now I could do that. That just sucked.
You gotta get to the point where they do like the individual interviews with them and shit, and they ramble. That's when it gets funny.
Yeah, that's the only part
Okay.
that I laugh at most of the time.
Yeah, I feel like I'm probably missing something. I'm sure there's something funny in it or something. I don't know. I just could not figure out what was going on or what the point was. They were just like, oh, yeah, so this bitch over here messier. And then there was like, nah, I think she messier. And I was like, I don't know who the fuck any of you are. I don't give a shit about who's messier.
Yeah, that's the show, all right.
Yeah. Like maybe if I knew them more and I knew why they were messy or something, that I'd care. But I'm just like, okay, people are just standing here saying that they're messy. I'm like, I don't see anyone fighting each other. This isn't baddies. Like, I'm not interested.
It should be, though. It could be better than baddies, in my opinion.
If they start beating each other's asses, I'll watch.
They're real close.
Okay. Once when there's an episode where they start like brawling, like full on fighting, and there's blood, send me that one.
All right.
I'll watch that.
In the meantime, we always start shit really random. So welcome everyone to another episode of Wide Range of Conversations with Rick and Eric. I am Eric.
And I was caught off guard, Rick.
Yeah. I just tried to show Kim my butthole.
we have a special guest with us this time. It's the human form of Rotten Tomatoes for everything horror movie and such, which is Caleb from Horror Soup. How you doing today, man?
Yeah, horror movies fucking suck, huh? Who watches those fucking things? I'm here to talk about fucking Michael Cera and his fucking indie band, dude. You know what I just realized too? When I told you guys I would do this episode, I said like, oh yeah, Michael Cera has like an indie band, and I just realized like in retrospect, you probably thought I was just talking about Scott Pilgrim because that's literally what the movie's about.
Yeah.
He also has an indie band, like an actual indie band.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Elaborate. What are they called?
I honestly don't remember. I've listened to them a few times, and you'd listen and you'd be like, oh yeah, that's Michael Cera's band for sure. Let me see. Michael Cera band.
I like how both of us went to Google immediately.
It's called The Long Goodbye.
That sounds emo as fuck.
It's honestly just a very indie band. Like it is just like, you know, like how what's his face from 13 Reasons Why has an indie band.
Shut the fuck up, for real?
Yeah, Wallows. Wallows is actually pretty big. I figured you'd at least know what Wallows was.
Oh,
no?
I don't know
Wallows
what things are.
Wallows is good and they're big, but basically it's Michael Cera's version of Wallows. So yeah,
incredible.
That's actually all I have to say about this movie.
That's it?
He's done.
Yeah,
he's like, thanks, guys. I just showed up. He's like, I gave you guys a plug. I showed up. I'm out of here.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
Your check's in the mail, bro.
I'll send you my dirty ass keyboard.
I still have that keyboard sitting here for you. I've been waiting for fucking like a while for you to send me your fucking address so I can send you this goddamn keyboard already. I actually grabbed it the other day while I was moving stuff around, and it pissed me off because I was like, that little fucking asshole never sent me his address. And I have this fucking keyboard sitting back here in my living room.
Where do you just get? Do you just go to? Where do you get all the random parts for like everything?
One time, I was on Facebook Marketplace and someone posted like a warehouse liquidation, and I bought an entire garage filled with I filled my entire garage with electronics, like computers, keyboards, mice, like just everything that you would find in a office warehouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what Indiana? That's what their Facebook Marketplace is?
Yeah, in Fort Wayne, yes, that's what you'll find. You'll find a lot of interesting stuff. I'm not gonna lie, Facebook Marketplace goes fucking crazy in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Hang
It
on.
goes insane.
I want to see what our marketplace looks like.
Now that I'm near another shithole in Indiana, I don't even want to say where because it's such a shithole, and I don't want to accidentally run into someone here.
Yeah, don't do that.
But this place, the Facebook Marketplace is nothing but furry costumes, so
Well,
it's a big change.
ironic you said that because I just loaded
You did not
Facebook
just find a
Marketplace in
furry.
my area. I have a VW Beetle and harness and ball gags.
Okay, at least it's not a
So-
furry costume.
It was not.
It could be worse.
Yeah, I don't see. That's the thing. I was called a bad gay because I didn't understand furries.
I think that's just someone who wanted you to fuck animals. I don't think they're judging
know-
you on how gay you are. I think they're judging you on how little you stick yourself inside of an animal.
I mean, I'll ask John the next time I see him if that's the case.
Yeah, John, you got some fucking problems, dude. Like, on God, I don't know what's up with you, bro.
I don't know.
What are we talking about?
Oh, welcome to the show. I guess. Are we gonna?
Yeah.
Guys.
We're not in Amityville Studios right now, so I guess.
No, we're doing Zoom shit again because
Yeah,
we don't have
Amityville
money.
internet?
We don't have money to fly fucking Caleb to Michigan to hang out to be on our fucking show.
to be fair,
Otherwise,
I could
we
just
would because
drive.
that'd be
I
fun.
could just drive to Michigan. To be completely fair, I'm like a couple hours away from you guys.
Oh, well, damn. Could
I
have made it a
haven't
weekend.
Yeah, we could have made it a nice little weekend. Fuck, I had something. I lost it.
It's
Well,
well,
it
welcome.
happens.
That's what happens on the show, actually.
Wait, I found it. There's like 80 something Amityvilles now. 70 or 80. Me and Kim haven't done one in like a month, and it went from like 54 to like 80 something.
Jesus Christ.
I think was it. Yeah, there's 80. There's exactly 80 right now.
Is one of them Amityville the internet?
Is that one of them? I wouldn't be surprised.
Amityville Wi-Fi. Amityville hotspot? Come on.
I genuinely don't even know if you're telling a joke or not right now. Like, I'm so dead serious. I don't know if that's a joke or not. I've missed like 30 of them recently. So
If it's not TM, I want one of them. For Christ's sakes.
you can do it. You can do it at any point. Anyway, I'm done ranting on your show. Go ahead.
Come outside. Hoochie daddies out of way live. Hoochie daddies come outside. Hey, little mama, what's your name here? I'm so glad that you came here. We out of way live, not giving no fuck.
So, we generally start off this with Hoochie Daddy talk, which you've already said how much you hate. So,
Wait, is this how the show starts?
yeah, not
Yeah,
shit,
dude.
Wait,
Literally,
this
that's
is our
why
big
you said
deal.
it to me? Oh, okay. Well, that show sucked until they start fighting or like doing something that I see on the Zeus network. I'm not interested. You sent me an episode and they're just like, I already told you guys right before this, but they start out and they're just like, oh yeah, so I think 24K over here is messy, and they're like, no, I think this bitch over here is messy, and they're like, no, I'm messier. The fuck does that do for me? That was so annoying. I don't know
No.
what they do.
Oh,
Why
was it
are
talking
they
about
a
who's
problem?
slow?
Yeah,
Was
that's
it
what they're
they- oh,
doing, Caleb.
They were talking
Oh,
about
is that what they were saying?
which one was slow. Yeah, which one?
Oh,
She's like, which one
no,
do you think
you're right.
is more slow? And they were saying that 24K. They're like, there's like an air pocket up there or something. You just say something to her, she just stares off into space.
You know what? You're right. I think they said something about being messy like after that or something. It did start off with who's dumber.
So, and this leads me into Woody quote of the week, everybody. I don't judge not a soul. Sometimes something just tell me this lady has autism. Something like ain't clicking right. The wheel ain't wheeling all the way around, and the curl just never curl. If you catch my drift,
You definitely were not a black girl in your past life.
you don't know. I was a black lesbian in a past life. Prove me
He just
I
wrong.
wasn't-
believe that.
He just wasn't he just wasn't a southern black lesbian in his
It's true.
past life. Because she's got a
Do
real
declare.
thick fucking black accent, and you can't fucking understand half the shit she says.
Okay, so what was this quote in regards to?
That was about 24K.
About 24K being slow.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Following.
And I don't know who the fuck Carter the Body is, but she was in this episode. Apparently, I'm not a lesbian enough because I had no idea who the fuck she was.
So, what do you guys think about 24K? Do you think she's stupid?
I don't
I
know.
read some of the
I think
comments.
I think she's just fucking stoned so much that she's just like, huh? Because every
She's
time she's on camera, she's either rolling a blunt or smoking or just staring. So I'm pretty sure she's just fucking black, just blacked out, just fucking gone.
That's relatable. That was me during the Tyler Grace episode. Which, by the way, is uploading soon. I finally got it to upload. I was trying to upload it, and my shitty internet in my buttfuck town kept canceling the upload. So I was about to just like throw it at the wall. My whole computer,
Oh.
that is. I was getting sick of it, but it finally went through. Now I just gotta press the button. So Natalia Grace on its way.
Hell yeah, brother.
Word.
The only other quote of the week I've got on here was they were gonna go do the fucking pull your weight challenge. And one of them's like, "Can we wear white shoes?" And Rod just looks at her and goes, "No, bitch." And I laughed a lot about that. I thought that was pretty funny.
I have a pull your weight challenge to send you guys.
Oh boy.
Here's the audio. You can just hear the song. That doesn't work at all over the.
Yeah, all I heard was, "I do what I want."
Yeah.
Okay, I am glad you heard that part.
It doesn't matter. Anything else.
Where the fuck? God damn it! That you guys keep. I'm sending this to you right now.
So, but the next thing is they got the one girl, Barbie Jackson, who actually won the challenge. Shout out Barbie. She's the one from the Bronx who me and Eric are slowly beginning to like because she just wants to beat everybody's ass at some point. She gets she gets done and she looks at the camera and she's like, "This is for all my I can't use that words that got asthma." And that's my quote of the week.
Oh, you didn't explain what they had to do. That they had to carry them bitches up the hill.
They did have to carry the bitches up the hill.
They had two
And they
girls that
Go
they
ahead.
had to like they were rotating back and forth from, and each girl had to carry the girl on her back, run up a hill, touch this bench, and then run back with the girl still on their back. And yeah, some of them, as you've seen since the clip, some of them are some big ass bitches. And
There's
they
maybe a
carry-
20-pound difference between the two of them. And they're complaining. They're like,
No,
"Oh,
I'm
no, I
talking
got the
about-
one with
I'm-
the biggest ass."
I'm talking about Money Montana's fucking big
yeah.
ass on Soul 1000, fucking running up that damn hill. She made it. She didn't die, but fuck. But yeah,
Caleb, that's the one I want to introduce us on the show. I just want
Yeah,
her
I
to be like, "Hey, yo, this is a moderated conversation with Money Montana. You heard 1,000 on Soul."
Again, your past life is not what you think it was.
You don't know. My current life is something I don't know. So run till that. Anyway, yeah, at the end they did Truth or Dare, which I thought was kind of whatever, except for they got a arm wrestling match and Barbie Jackson crushed it again. The next episode is going to be a little bit more wild because we've already seen it, but we're behind an episode because I'm lazy. But
They
we'll
also
get
had
that
the
next time.
slap boxing on that.
Yeah, I didn't
they?
care about that. Nobody got fucked up. I didn't care.
Well, they still got heated. They fucking all of a sudden it went from slap boxing to fucking swatting at each other, whatever the fuck. She's like, those swaps would have turned into poofs if it kept going, fucking throwing up her fucking fists and shit. So yeah,
What's a poof?
I don't know. Fucking write him.
Ask. I will. Don't listen.
You were surprised that they had some fucking subtitles on YouTube that can't even keep up with half of the shit that they fucking say. So they get like
Dude.
the ends of parts of sentences and shit.
And they blank out the N word whenever they use it. It's just like
A square.
space, square.
Yeah, so when homegirl's on her rant, I'm a big nigga and only three things matter to me: my family, my money, and my food, nigga, and you can't be taking that shit away from me, dog. And yeah, it's just nothing but fucking blanks and this fucking subtitles.
And that was it. I love that show so much. We'll get you to like it, Caleb. I swear to God. It gets better.
I don't know about that.
Come on. Of all the weird shit you watch, this is where you draw the line in the sand.
Yeah.
Oh. You suck. Anyway, so we invited you on because we're going to do Scott Pilgrim, and then you said I have so much shit to talk about because Michael Cera has a band, and then that was it. And you said you were done already, so
I didn't say I had so much.
you did.
Did I?
Like days of. You said you had days of content for us.
I was probably completely lying. There's no way that was the truth if I ever said that.
Ladies and gentlemen, grab your popcorn, pop, and alcoholic beverages. It's movie time with Rick and Eric.
We are Sex Bomb, and we're here to make you think about death and get sad and stuff.
I'm hearing voices and voices, the tremor of cold, the feminine ambition, reaching my threshold, staring at the truth till I'm blind.
Yeah, so we just I decided that we're going to do Scott Pilgrim this week. And right now it's got a 7.6 on IMDb. The tomato meter is 82%. The audience score is 84%. Letterboxd is a 3.9. And I think my rating actually went down on this, mainly because I had to watch it forever to do this. And I feel like that happens a lot to people that do these sort of things.
Yeah.
You watch
I don't
it so
know the
many
last time
times.
I'd seen Scott Pilgrim was. It's probably been at least like 3-5 years ish.
Yeah. And I thought you hated this movie for some reason, but no, you rated it pretty high.
No, James hates this movie, and he's told me before that he never said that, but I'm pretty sure I have it on a recording somewhere where he like ranted about how much he hates Scott Pilgrim. But he tells me all the time now, every time I bring it up, he's like, "What? I never said that." Lies. Not true.
It's that Indiana in him.
Yeah, for sure. What did I rate this? Did you see? I never re-rated it or anything.
I think I gave it a 5-star when I first did it, but I think it dropped down a half a star just because. It's not that it's a bad movie or anything. It's just like perfect is. Come on,
I gave it a
Pastor.
4.5. I gave it a 4.5 a while ago. I don't know how long ago. I'd probably give it like a 4.
Yeah. All right. So, do we have anything Scott Pilgrim related to talk about before we get into this? We're just gonna do it.
No, I don't got anything.
I'm gonna turn 8-bit. I'm gonna pixelate. Go Sega CD. Do you even know what that is? You're way young.
Sega CD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a fucking Sega CD.
For real?
I had multiple attachments for a Sega.
There was attachments for a Sega?
Yeah, the Sega CD was an attachment. Are you old enough for this?
I don't know anymore. How old am I?
Yeah, the Sega, there was like multiple different versions of Sega, and then they also had like attachments that they would go like add on to it. And the Sega CD was an attachment to one of them. I think it was on the Mega. Was it on the Mega Drive? I don't remember which one it was on, but
never had one of those. I had the normal Sega and I had a Super Nintendo at the time. I missed out on, was it the GameCube? I never had a GameCube.
That was like my main console. Like growing up, GameCube was my shit for sure.
It's true. It's a good console. I don't know why. Couldn't do this. This is a podcast. You can't see what I'm doing, but if the holding the controllers is weird.
No, it's kind of like when you hold. Amazing. Those are the best Smash controllers to this day.
So, where do you land on? Is Smash Brothers a fighting game or is it a party game?
A fighting game.
It's a party game, to my opinion.
It's a fighting game. It's a game where you punch each other.
Yeah, but it's only got two buttons that you hit to do attacks with. It's a party game. It's a mini game that you move around.
No, you gotta use combos. You gotta use your shields. You gotta dodge. You have like 4 moves in each of those buttons, like a fighting game.
Pick this up later. It's a good debate.
It's a fighting game.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. So with Scott Pilgrim, I like how Eric just kept quiet the whole time because he doesn't want to get involved with it.
I'm rolling a blunt too.
Did you start it with your tequila?
I did.
I gotta, whether or not I have somebody that lives outside my house that's named Tequila.
I'm sorry, what?
And she has a taint shop. So if you ever want to come get your taint cleaned, come visit Tequila's taint shop.
None of this is real.
You don't know.
This is not a real thing that you're talking about.
Have you been to the hood in Bay City?
He literally has a crackhead that lives across the street from him.
Is her name Tequila?
It is now.
Okay, thank God. Thank fucking God. If that was your reality, you need a new one.
Listen, my house
Where do you
is
think
nowhere
we all
near
go to
paid
get
off.
our taints
I'm
cleaned?
fucked. Plus, also, if I want crack, I guess it's just right across the street. So,
That's a plus.
yeah, I've been trying to shed some pounds. I guess that's the way to do it. Okay, so Scott Pilgrim, we open up with an 8-bit Universal logo and theme. And the first time I saw this, and it was the 8-bit that I lost my fucking mind when I was in the theaters and saw this. If that tells you how old I am. I was like,
Yeah, I also thought Scott Pilgrim came out in a different year. It came out in 2010.
yeah, does not seem like it.
I almost thought it came out later, right?
Either I thought it was earlier, honestly, because of especially with
could
the way that they talk about stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it could go either way. Like the dialogue definitely feels earlier, but I don't know, just the whole movie, like it doesn't feel 2010.
Yeah. A lot of this is also going to be me shitting on Scott Pilgrim because he's a fucking awful character and I didn't realize it.
He's a terrible human being.
Yeah.
Like, he's a bad person through and through.
It's, well, even, okay, not so long ago in the mysterious land of Toronto, Canada, Scott Pilgrim was dating a high schooler. That should have been the end of it.
That's the thing. The movie starts off very awkwardly.
Yeah.
Like it's just 5 minutes of them being like, "You're really dating a high schooler? How old are you? Like 25 or something?" He's like, "I'm 22. Come on." And, like
That's
it
still
just
yikes.
it's a 5-year difference, and they like harp on it like later too. Like, I mean, at one point he's like, "Oh yeah, this reminds me of middle school," and his 17-year-old girlfriend is like, "Yeah, that must feel like a long, long, long time ago." Huh? And it's like, all right, this is so fucking weird. Like, I'm supposed to be on this guy's side.
Yeah, it was really hard. I'm never on his side. We'll get into it. We transition down to what looks like we are in the house from Shameless, and we are introduced to some of the main characters. That looks like the Shameless house, honestly.
Yeah, this really is just indie band Shameless.
Yeah. We have Scott, we have Stills, we have Kim and young Neil. Kim is saying Scott is dating a high schooler, and then still goes, "Really? Is she hot?" Fucking gross,
Yeah,
dude.
I mean, still the whole time he was the lead singer, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was his name, if I'm being honest. The entire time he seems very supportive of Scott dating this high schooler, but he also like doesn't say that exactly, but he's like into it.
Kind of.
You know, like it's weird.
Didn't like that either. Immediately, young Neil wants to know if they've done it. Come on. This is not even 5 minutes into the movie, and I'm already like, as an adult, like past my 30s watching this movie, I'm like, oh no.
For sure. Yeah, and young Neil, I mean, he's young, but he's still not like that young that like he should be like, oh, I'm okay with all of this because he's 20.
Yeah, if you're in your 20s, come on.
Like, and they're talking about like he's talking about picking up his girlfriend from the bus stop at school. Like this is so fucking weird.
He asks if and he says, "Well, we almost held hand once, but she got embarrassed." Come on.
Yeah, it's not looking good for you, Scott.
Eric, what do you feel about Scott Pilgrim at this point?
Yeah, I was kind of weirded out.
Yeah. As an adult watching this, you're like, oh, I mean, I was kind of an adult then. Have I ever been an adult? It's hard to say.
I guess
Moving
I
on.
first watched this one, if it came out in 2010. I mean, I did watch it when it first came out. I watched it when I was 11. Is that right? No. Wait, no, that's not right. No, I was 13. Yeah, I was 13
Jesus Christ.
when
Okay.
I watched this. So I
I
probably
want to tell you
didn't.
how.
I probably didn't pick up on all of the weirdness at that point, you know, because I was like 13 hanging out with like 20-year-olds and stuff. So I was like, oh yeah, this makes perfect sense to me.
Yikes.
Yeah, definitely not a vibe.
And that was yikes from Caleb. We find out that the high schooler is literally a Chinese girl named Knives Chow, which again, if you're going to do it, I guess you're just going to hit all those notches on that, you know, just fantasy, whatever.
Well, yeah, he's literally dating like a schoolgirl, like like a Christian schoolgirl or something, like in the little outfit and everything. Like it's
Sure is.
Yeah.
Kim is less than enthused. The doorbell rings, and you guessed it, it's Knives Chow, and she's 17. And I just wrote ick
Yeah, they're also like you know, like an MTV show when it would pop up with like their name and then like
Yeah.
their age or like their occupation or something like that. It
Yeah.
was doing that, so they were really just like reeling it in. Like, by the way, I mean, they're really trying to set up immediately, like, hey, don't like Scott, you know. But then everyone in the world was just like, oh, dude, Scott Pilgrim's the best.
They do try that, don't they? Uh so the very first words that Scott says to her is promise to be good to Knives. And that made me honestly like I visibly like cringed a little bit when I heard that because I was watching part of this at work and that was what my boss walked in on. So
Yeah.
that's something that happened. And then we have Steven Stills, and it has his little bio that pops up. Stills and Scott have a weird discussion about how they want her to geek out, and he says that she has the capacity to be a geek out.
Geekin', if you will.
Yeah. And like a shitty bouncer, Stills just gives her the thumbs up and says she's good to come in. The worst bouncer of all time. You're letting a 17-year-old in your house. Well, it's not even his house. It's young Neil's house, we found out. Knives is in awe because she gets to be at a real band practice. And then she is just like shitting her pants because there's a girl that's playing the drums and she thinks that's awesome, which it is. Kim is amazing. I love her. And then we have young Neil. It's his house. And Knives wonders what she plays or what he plays. And he just looks and goes, oh man, that's a tough question. Zelda, Tetris. Shut up, young Neil. You know that's not what she asked.
Honestly, I'm on his side.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then we get the iconic. I'm trying not to blow the microphone out. We are Sex Bob. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's the intro to title scene, which I was shitting my pants in the theater because I'm like, holy shit, this is great at the time because there was nothing much like this at all. Period. You never got, if you were lucky in the day, you got like 1 or 2 internet or like video game references. You didn't get a whole movie about it. So that's probably why I was shitting my pants about this, honestly. We get the montage with the opening credits while the credits play. And then after that, Knives, after hearing the song, loses her whole shit and like kind of blacks out at that, which is kind of, you know, come on. She's a kid. And then Kim has probably one of my favorite lines from the whole movie. And it says, Scott, if your life had a face, I would punch it. Yeah.
Which is, yeah. We're here for the Scott hate.
And then she says, are you really happy or are you really evil? And in my opinion, he's pretty fucking evil so far.
Yeah, he's pretty self-aware of the fact that he's being a bad person the entire movie, but he very much continues to do so.
Yeah, even though multiple people are like, hey, bud, you're doing bad stuff.
He's getting noticed. I mean, it's not like no one else is like giving their opinion on the situation. Everyone is, and he just does not care.
He just wants to keep going, doing his thing. So then Scott goes home and his roommate, Wallace, who basically is me if I went full bitch. He says that he's 25, he's a 7.5 out of 10. And Wallace they show the inside of the house and he owns everything. And I said, it basically looks like the Roseanne living room if it was a studio apartment. And that's the best way I could describe it to everybody. You ever watch Roseanne as a kid?
I watched it a couple times. I've experienced more Roseanne as an adult, I feel like, than as a kid, and not exactly the show Roseanne, but just Roseanne Barr in general.
Yeah, she's wild. I mean, she was wild before, but
yeah, she's kind of fun to watch now just because she's an absolute travesty on anything she goes on.
Yeah, poor Roseanne. Who knew? And then we have basically he gets in there and Scott doesn't want Wallace because he finds out that Scott is dating a 17-year-old. He's like, hey man, just don't tell my sister about it, which if you're not telling your family about it, you know you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And
I love that he immediately just always shows her. Like he always just tells her within seconds. Like there's a scene later where like he's asleep and he ends up texting her and Scott looks over, he's like, how'd you do that?
Yeah, it's part of our powers, Caleb. That's what it is.
That's one of the gay powers.
Yeah. If there's tea to be had, we're gonna spread the tea. So it's just the way it works. And then that we meet Stacy, who is what's her name, who does the cups. I don't know what her name is. I don't know people's names. Isn't that the same bitch that does
Wait.
the cup song?
The Cup song?
Yeah.
What's the Cup song?
Pitch Perfect.
I've seen that movie like once. I don't know references to
Yeah,
to Pitch
that's all I
Perfect.
know. That makes me a bad gay for not knowing Pitch Perfect and the
Yeah,
cup
honestly,
song.
if anything, you were the worst gay for that. I've never met
You
a
should
gay
know
that
that
wasn't
song
able
by
to.
heart. God damn it!
Exactly. I was gonna say I've never met a gay that doesn't know how to recite Pitch Perfect like from beginning to end.
I can do a good JoJo Siwa impersonation now. That's all I got.
What, like her with the kiss makeup?
You gotta understand. You just get in there and you gotta be the best thing you can be at all times, and then just get your makeup on and you get in there and just do the best.
Oh yeah, you're gay.
JoJo Siwa. That's also if I was ever a lady of the night, that would be my voice for all my gentlemen callers.
Hey, you want to get your dick sucked over here? That'd be terrifying to hear coming from the shadows of an alley.
Just
Like, what the
get
fuck?
get a cigarette out of my stoma. Listen here, kid.
sweetie.
Come put your dick in the hole in my neck.
Hey, Mr. Mans.
Which iconically, if you ever, when you do get to listen to our collaboration, we find out that is Kim's vagina. Kim's vagina. Shout out Kim.
What is in Kim's vagina at this point?
I guess mustard. Does Heinz make a mustard?
Don't they?
Uh,
I don't know.
Moving on. His ex, Clash at the Demon Head frontman, which is we're gonna be named later. They have like a little picture because they mentioned her. Is hot ass Brie Larson, and Jesus Christ, she looks good in this movie, and that's coming from me.
I mean, this cast is pretty fucking stacked.
Yeah,
Like rewatching it, that scene where Scott is gonna, I'm going ahead of myself as I always do, but that scene later where like he goes to the party and he's walking around just looking at people in the party, like you were just seeing famous faces all around the crowd, like they stuck out like a sore fucking thumb. Like it's a pretty stacked cast.
but the problem is when they're not famous, they're very background. So it's either
Yeah,
like I
for
hired
sure.
some guy, or holy shit, that's somebody I know.
Well, at the time, I feel like it didn't hit as hard either because a lot of these people weren't as big household names as they are now. But like,
Yeah.
you know, almost 15 years later, it's like, oh shit, that's actually, you got everyone for this movie.
Yep. And sometimes that works, and sometimes this movie didn't do well, which
Did it not? What were the financials like?
it didn't do well. I didn't look. I can never find that stuff, so I didn't look it up. While he's doing that,
You just look at budget. 85 million budget.
it did not do well. I know that. It didn't.
Oh, it made 50 million at the box office.
Yeah,
Yikes.
which sucks because this movie is.
Yikes.
I really like this movie. It deserves more.
Wow. They put a lot of money into this and did not make anything back.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's what happens when you hire everybody, I guess.
I guess it says people hated Michael Cera at the time. Is that what happened? I'm just seeing like a little excerpt.
Really? Was he not?
I
Was
don't
he in
know. I
trouble?
thought he was pretty liked I thought he was always pretty
Yeah.
liked.
Yeah, I don't think he's done anything like to get canceled that I know of, anyway.
Rachel
Now
was
that
trying
I
to
get-
figure out in between what seasons of Arrested Development did he film this fucking movie, because he was in that show too around the same time.
Yeah, was this when did Arrested Development originally air?
I have no fucking clue.
I think it was right around that time.
Because it only aired for like 3 or 4 years, and then it got canceled, and then it came back way later.
Yeah, which I still haven't seen all of, by the way.
Oh, an incredible show.
I am one of those people. The more you tell me to watch something, the more I'm going to be like, no,
I haven't told you anything. I just said it's a good show.
no. But you're not the bajillion people have been like, Rick, you would love it. It's the best thing in the world.
No,
I mean,
yeah,
it
do
is
fully
funny. I've
love
only
it.
seen it in parts because fucking Rachel throws it on as like her background show. But she's
Currently-
doing shit.
All I watch is South Park and the like spring baking competition. So
That's fair. I just watched South Park and Zeus Network. So,
I mean,
yeah. So it originally aired from 2003 to 2006, and then it re-aired 2013 to 2019 on Netflix. But they only filmed, I think, 2 seasons on Netflix, and it was like, I'm pretty sure one was in 2013 and the other was in 2019.
All
Yeah,
right.
he was actually like 3 to 4 years either way, away from Arrested Development at the time of this.
All right then. So
Was he doing like year 1 or something? Maybe was that around the time?
oh god, that was a movie, wasn't it?
It was a movie. I don't even think I've actually ever seen that movie. I just heard how terrible it was. I just fucking didn't watch
Oh,
it.
thank you.
I saw that in theaters, and that was in 2009, so it was the year before.
Okay, Michael Sarah. I guess you were getting work done then. All right. So the next scene is Scott and Wallace picking up a 17-year-old girl from a Catholic high school.
Yeah.
Long pause. Wallace calls Scott out because everybody in the world should be calling him out. And he goes, "This is my gay roommate, Wallace." And she goes, "Oh, do you want to know who else in my class is gay?" Come on. We've come so far.
Pretty sure Wallace is like, didn't they say he's like 25?
Yeah. Which is also super creepy. It goes both ways. Wallace goes, yeah, does he wear glasses? And I'm like, I was gagged at that moment. I'm like, come on, don't you have to be better than him? But Wallace grabs her hands, looks her dead in the eyes, and goes, "Run." And I go, "Uh-huh. You're she says that you can do so, or he says you can do so much better. And I'm like, yep, you could. Anybody could. And the next we have Scott and Knives going out on this crazy date, air quotes. They do DDR, they go to the Goodwill, and they go to a CD store.
I love how racist this movie is too, honestly.
Kind of.
I mean, like they're just ripping on Knives for being Chinese. Like they go to play Dance Dance Revolution and she's like the best at it. They're just like
Oh,
Dance
wait.
Dance Revolution is already such a cliche. And then later when she's like, "Hey, do you want to come home meet my parents?" She's like, come for dinner." And he's like, "What, like Chinese?"
Yeah. That does happen. There's also one thing that I have like 7 different underlines on because it was the most racist thing I think I've heard in a movie in a while. So we'll get to that too. And then we have Julie Powers, who is Aubrey Plaza, who is one of my favorite people on the planet. Like if I ever get to meet her, I would probably die. Literally, I love her and everything. She's the greatest thing in the part of her and Kim are my favorite parts of this movie.
Hard agree. Also, I mean, come on, the star of the show, Elizabeth Ramona Flowers. Look, I'm not much for falling in love and all that stuff, and you know, but look, if I find me my Ramona Flowers, I'm folding. I'm folding immediately.
Scott should have ended up with Knives.
Look,
we can
man,
have that discussion later.
Look, Knives is far away from me. This isn't it's just me and Ramona. It's me and Mary Elizabeth forever. Mary Elizabeth, if you're out there and you're listening, well,
that'd be crazy if that's the that's the one super famous.
That's the one person. That's like the one person that fucking sends us the email.
If she emails you, direct her to my email.
Yeah. I'll get a message from
Instagram
Caleb
because you don't have my email.
I found it though.
Yeah, so Eric sent me a Zoom invite over Instagram. I just want to put that out in the world. Mary Elizabeth, I'm trying to find you on Instagram. Well.
I'll direct her your way. I can be your gay roommate. Don't worry, I got you. All right. And she too, where even fucking were we? Somebody says that bitch is young, which is 80% of this beginning of this movie, let's face it. Scott shows his distaste for Clash at the Demon Head when the CD gets brought up, and we find out it's his ex. And Envy Adams is a fucking cool name. I want that name.
Was that her name?
That was the ex, the Brie Lawson is Envy Adams.
Yeah. What was her name before that? Natalie?
Nat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nat to Envy Adams. Yeah, you did an upgrade.
I don't think so. She named herself that, so that's a stupid name.
I like, you can name yourself whatever you want to be, Caleb Soup.
I don't believe that. I did not do that.
You didn't?
No, I didn't do that.
Oh. There's a story for later.
It just happened, so I just let it happen, and I hate it.
Fair enough. Scott walks Knives home where she says that she's never even kissed a guy, and he touches her shoulder, leans in, and says, "Me neither." That was kind of funny. He said one funny thing, Michael Cera.
I think he actually said a lot of funny things throughout the movie. His character is just a very creepy character.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
You know, I mean, both things can be true,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Touche. They hug and hold hands, and they walk down the roads of Canada. It's very team romance because the snow is in the background and everything. Scott takes him to his Roseanne living room studio apartment, but he says there's no girls allowed. And then we're just obliterated. Our eyes are gone forever because there's a bright ass aliens are abducting me flash of light. And Scott is in the desert with one cactus. He falls to his knees, claiming that he is all alone, but a girl in rollerblades just shows up and just zooms past him, telling him he's an idiot and he's having a dream. And back at the Roseanne living room apartment, Scott wakes up alone alongside Wallace. When I say alongside, I mean like they're shoulder to shoulder. They're sleeping in the same bed. And then another Scott, who is Wallace's boyfriend, jumps up too. Neither one of them is interested in Scott's bullshit and just tells him to kind of move on. Which, if you're in a bed with two other dudes, yeah, they don't want to hear about your dreams. Can confirm. Not from, well, maybe from personal experience. We'll let you think about it. Wallace drops the bombshell that Scott is late to pick up Knives. Scott thinks that it's 6 a.m., but when we open the door, you get another just anal probe blinding light. And it is, in fact, not 6 a.m. like they think. At a typical library in Canada edition, does anybody remember Silent Library?
Yeah, of course.
The show was awesome.
Yeah, Jersey Shore was on it.
Were they really? You love the Jersey Shore.
Pretty much the entire cast, except for maybe, I think Angelina probably wasn't on it, but who else wasn't on it?
Angelina Jolie was on there?
No, god damn.
That's crazy. He just shuts up. Eric, you remember Silent Library, don't you? We watched that.
Yeah. They still have it up on like Paramount or some shit. They have a couple
Do they really?
episodes. But yeah, one of those things.
Fuck yeah. I'm watching
I heard
that
about
tonight
that a
now.
while ago.
All right. Scott and his grooming victim walk down the stairs and boom, we see a skater girl. She did ballet, but not really because she has pink hair, steampunk goggles, and Scott is smitten. Which is bad because he's there with Knives. And this is where all of us just scream collectively at the screen. We know where this is going. Just break up with Knives, which is literally the next 20 minutes of this movie, by the way.
Yeah, correct.
Knives asks, do you know that girl? Then we're back at the Shameless house where young Neil lives. And Steven yells at Scott while he's disassociating, claiming that he only played one note. Why didn't they stop him? They could have stopped playing if he only played one note for the whole song that they were playing. Why didn't they just go, "Hey, yo"? They just not care.
That's a fair assessment, but I also respect that they just didn't.
Okay.
You know, if he's not doing his side, then just whatever.
Well, whatever. I guess we're gonna do whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. Kim is a shady bitch. Knives is precious as usual, and young Neil is playing his Game Boy in the background. We get a hard cut mid-sentence to the band on their way to a party at Julie's. We get That Sucks cutaway to the party inside of the interior with what I think looks like a Scene Kid party would look like in the 2010s.
No.
But this is where we were talking about. Everybody just looks fucking famous.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is the party scene where you just see like everyone standing around and you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah. I know that guy. Scott Scott has to that's what he says. He's bored. He has to go pee apparently. And I've never been bored and having to go pee at the same time. I guess. Just never been a thing
What is that statement?
I don't know. Scott is bored and has to pee. Whatever. A guy tells someone with his whole chest that a band should market themselves to deaf people. Whoa.
I agree with that.
come on. Like if somebody says that you're going to market yourself to deaf people, that's the burn of the movie.
I would market myself to Helen Keller if she was still around.
What didn't she do a bunch of cool shit after she learned to like talk
No.
and shit?
No,
You don't know that.
that's fucking fake.
Helen Keller hung out with Amelia Earhart and they got lost in the sea together.
Yeah, she didn't do any of that shit.
She was a lesbian. They had a
Sure.
beautiful life together.
Sure, she was. Yeah, you're telling me fucking this fucking deaf, blind, dumb bitch sitting around going, "Oh, I flew plane." No, it's fucking stupid. It never happened.
You don't know that.
That did not happen. I don't believe any of that.
Prove me it didn't.
Prove to me even slightly that it did.
I can believe my own bullshit to the end of the world, Caleb.
All right.
Even if you proved it wrong, I'll just go full Trump supporter on you and be like, no, you're wrong.
A man can dream.
Tired of driving around, hearing the same songs over and over and over again? Looking for something that piques your interest? Looking for something that you would enjoy? Well, then check out the 989 Network. The 989 Network is a group of podcasts from the Tri-City area covering tons of topics: comedy, reading, video games, news, and more. So go to 989.network, check out our list of podcasts, and see what pleasures your ears.
Trying to get back to this. Oh, the burn of the movie was him telling him that he should market himself to deaf people. And Scott drinks Coke Zero because he doesn't drink. I didn't know Coke Zero existed in 2010.
How long has Coke Zero been around? I guess I do feel I never thought about that, but now that you say that, like I do remember. I feel like I remember like them announcing Coke Zero becoming a thing.
Yeah, like recently. Like when I say recently, like 4
not
years
a
ago.
long time ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It had to have been longer than 4 years ago. But like,
Must have, but here we are. Look, it was in there. Maybe this is how they actually marketed it. This is how they won whatever money they got back.
On a side note, I'm just
2005.
the thumbnail for this episode is just going to be Caleb sitting there with the cigarette hanging out of his mouth, looking like Samuel L. Jackson from Jurassic Park when he was typing in his fucking computer.
That's probably
I'll
about
just
right.
wait-
I look ridiculous right now. I woke up from like 3 naps right before this.
I wished. I've been up since 8 o'clock in the morning.
Nice.
No, my job does job stuff.
Hell yeah.
I can't do another JoJo Siwa. I've ruined my vocal cords doing the first one, so I guess we're moving on from. His name is Comeau. That guy who said that he should market somebody to the deaf. Comeau. How do you say that? Comeau?
Comeau. Comeau? Yeah, Comeau? Something like that.
He walks up. Scott walks up to that guy and he shows them this picture of like 5 squiggles that looks like a human face, kind of, and he goes, "Oh yeah, that's Ramona Flowers."
Accurate.
That's kind of like how me and Eric will have conversations, and I'm like, "Oh, you know that guy that did the thing," and he's like, "Oh yeah, that thing we did 5 years ago." And I'm like, "How the hell does that happen?" People are looking at me like I've lost my whole goddamn mind.
Honestly, though, if someone showed me that picture, I would know it's Ramona Flowers immediately because she'd be on my mind 100% of the time.
Yeah, still currently. Shout out to whatever that lady's name is again.
Don't speak on Mary Elizabeth like that.
I don't know people's names.
It's Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Oh,
technically,
okay.
But you know,
Put
I
some
only say
respect
3
on
words
it.
every time.
Yeah. Sorry. On soul. Okay. That guy says that she's actually a little hardcore and is at this party currently. And Scott just kind of disintegrates into the background and a wind noise happens. Kind of like that would happen to Caleb now. If he said that that lady who played Ramona Flowers was here, we would just hear.
Oh yeah, I'd be gone.
Yeah. So that happens. Then we are treated to a hipster cutaway while Michael Cera has goldfish eyes hunting for Ramona in this party. His eyes are wild when he's doing this. Like, you guys, this isn't a visual platform, but like you guys get to see it. It's just like,
Yes, sir, Eric. So Ricky has big eyes right now and is looking all around the room.
Yeah, that's what happened. He spots her, and then side by side cameras hit. They're like, "Oh man, something's gonna happen!" Like it does in a video game. Scott destroys his red Solo cup, and I don't understand why he does that.
He was in he had a moment.
I've never destroyed like a red Solo cup, but I've seen somebody though.
It was like
You
fuck
have.
Keith Urban.
Who's Keith? Wait, Toby Keith.
Oh, Toby Keith. Fuck them both.
Whatever country music is at the time. Fuck them. This one girl is written on the screen randomly, which I know is your biggest pet peeve there, Caleb.
Yeah, I don't love that.
I didn't understand that it didn't serve any purpose at this time, but it says that. Scott kind of slides awkwardly into Ramona, asking her about Pac-Man. If somebody slides into my DMs or anything and just is like, hey, do you know about Pac-Man? I'm going to block them. He gives a stupid story about Pac-Man being Puck-Man, and Ramona is the most uninterested person I've ever seen on the planet at that time. He asks if this is a dream, and Ramona, like us, goes, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" He claims to have, he says, "Okay, you know what? I'm just going to leave you alone forever." And which we go, that would be the right move to make at this point. Just walk away, take the L, you're done. But instead of doing that smart thing, he actually just stalks her the whole time he's at the she's at the party, and until she leaves. And that's yet again Michael Cera doing creepy shit in this movie.
Yeah, he's stalking women. He likes underage women.
Was he on the Epstein list?
Maybe the other, like, not the bad one to be on the Epstein list, but more quiet on the set, less Epstein.
Still not great.
No. He goes up to, because he's trying to find more information on Ramona Flowers. He goes up to what I guess are two lesbians, because he walks up to him and goes, "Hey, lady dudes." I don't know why, but it made me laugh a lot. I can't wait to use lady dudes in personal conversations now. Trying to get whatever information he can, and Julie knows everything, but is like, "Hey, you're a dumb asshole. You can't date Ramona Flowers. For fuck's sakes, you're dating a high schooler." Yep.
Yeah, weird argument to make.
Well, Julie forbids him from hitting on Ramona anymore. He's already dating a high schooler, like I said, and he is in a mourning period. And she goes, "Dating a high schooler is a mourning period." Burn.
I feel like it's more than that, but yeah. We'll let them say that. That's how they want.
He says, she calls him a lady killer wannabe jerk. And I said TM. I'm sure that's going to be someplace.
It's definitely
Put that
on
on
a shirt somewhere.
Yeah. If not, I'm going to do it and sell it on my own Etsy shop. She lists off all of Scott's blunders with women, and there's a lot of them, more of them than there should be. And she says, "Forget about it, Scott." Julie yells, knocking out the power for the whole city block. Like, just the whole power for everything goes out. And back at the Roseanne studio apartment, Scott is awakened by Wallace coming home, and he is drunk. Wallace wants him to break up with the high school girlfriend before he does anything with this Ramona Flowers, if that's what he's going to do. Before he even says words, Wallace drunk texts his sister, telling her exactly that he's going to juggle two women, which is that scene you were talked about earlier.
Yeah.
They didn't even say, the words haven't even left his lips yet, and he's like, that's my text noise, apparently.
Yeah, good noise. That's accurate.
Yeah.
It makes you think of emails that whoosh
Oh, yeah.
sound.
So Scott orders something from Amazon because he finds out at the party that she works for there and will deliver it. He gets he gets a random email from the first. We're going to find out he has to fight more people. He gets an email, and he is all of us when we read the terms and conditions and just goes, "Yeah, fuck it." And he sits in front of the door waiting for the package like a dog to come their owner to come home while he's a dog. That's the word I was trying to use.
Mhm.
He opens the door, and it's not Amazon, but it's Knives who like completely says, "Hey, you bailed on me, you dumb shit." And then we have the Scott Sucks the montage. They're trying to do cute stuff, and he's just like, "Yeah, whatever, I guess." And they get to the very end of them doing DDR where it says, "Do you want to keep going?" This is heavy-handed as shit right now. We think he's going to be a real person. Maybe he's going to do the right thing right now. The countdown continues to count down, but Knives is at practice the next day, and Scott's still an asshole, still trying to date 2 women. Which, if you're going to date 2 women, at least let them know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
They might be into it.
over it. I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's already taken advantage of her, so
Yeah. Might as well add another tick to it. We do not condone any of these things.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're not.
At the Shameless house, Stills tells them that the band has they have a gig at Battle of the Bands, which I haven't heard of a Battle of the Bands, and I can't tell you how long, and it just might be me getting old.
Yeah, I don't think they have those anymore, huh?
They really should.
Yeah, I would like to go to a Battle of the Bands.
Yeah, so everybody out there, do a Battle of the Bands. Scott goes to the bathroom and is teleported to a school hallway where he chases Ramona until he wakes up at the Roseanne studio apartment, realizing Ramona is there delivering the package that he ordered. Scott is forward as fuck, and as soon as he opens the door, he goes, "Hey, do you want to go out sometime?" Which I wished I had that kind of gumption, like to look like Michael Cera. I'd be that bold.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, well, I don't know. He feels on top of the world, but
Maybe he has like a huge dick, and that's why all the bitches loved him, and he just has that energy. Like he
Maybe.
knows he's just gonna pipe him down with an elephant cock.
Well,
you guys think Michael Cera has a big dick?
I mean, he's got to have
I'm
something.
just saying, Scott Pilgrim, the character.
Yeah.
But Michael Cera specifically?
Listen, he's got to have something because look at him.
That's true. That's very true.
Wow. So basically, he extorts Ramona by not signing the delivery slip until she agrees to go out with him. Yee. They meet at a staircase at 8 p.m. Scott makes an alarming amount of assumptions about women, and they walk through the park while the snow just kind of falls picturesquely. And they have just kind of casual conversations. It actually looks like they're having a pretty good time. They chill on the swing set. They make that joke. Ramona calls their date kind of awful at this point. And then she says, "Why is there a random door there?" Just because. It's Scott Pilgrim. There's going to be doors.
Yeah, there's going to be doors.
Yeah. Back at Ramona's, which go Scott, I guess? Question mark. He learns of multiple T's because she has like 15 of them and walks in on Ramona changing. And for some reason, that makes them want to make out. I don't know.
I mean, I would.
But like, how many red flags could this girl like? I guess we'll get into it, but Ramona deserves a lot of the shit she gets too. Like, if you can avoid or ignore all of these red flags that are happening to you for so long.
I mean, she does have 7 evil exes, though, so I mean, her track record isn't best.
That's fair. Everybody just needs therapy.
She does say at the end of the movie that Scott's the best boyfriend that she's ever had. So, I mean,
Yeesh.
And even he's like, that doesn't say very much.
It does not. And then I put Scott actively cheats on Knives at this point. Like, it's kind of half and half what I would consider cheating. But at this point, it's like he spends the night at her house. They don't do it, but that's pretty cheaty.
Yeah.
He invites Ramona to the Battle of the Bands, the same Battle of the Bands that Knives will be at. Blink.
Yeah, it's not a good move, buddy.
Yeah. Cut to the venue. It kind of looks like what I think like a movie Battle of the Bands would look like if it were Scene Kids and just kind of dingy, but it also has the most lights I've ever seen in my life. I don't know how it can be dark and dusty, but look that well lit.
I do. I've been here.
Oh, is that a real place?
I don't know, but I've been there.
Okay. Shout out to when we went to just random people's basements for Battle of the Bands back in our day. So,
Yeah.
how did we not get killed, Eric? True question.
I remember they did one at in the cafeteria of our high school, and the cops showed up.
Oh yeah, that did happen.
And it was like sanctioned by the school, so it was a thing. But because kids were moshing, they were fucking pulling kids out and shit. And
Yeah.
that's when Nick White performed the song "I Love Cops," which is not about loving cops, in front of the cops, and the whole
Shout
thing
out.
got shut down.
Yeah. See, we were ACAB before ACAB was ACAB.
You're so cool, Rick.
That's not. We're just older. You just get to see more shit.
No, dude, you're like the most hipster. You did it before everyone else.
Should I adjust my glasses?
Yes.
Oh, I get my fedora out of the closet.
Dust that bitch off. I'll get my Jinko jeans out.
Hell
Hey, they're coming back. I sold the ones that I had for a
Have
hell of
fun.
a lot of money.
Nice.
yeah. Back at the gig there, Knives is there and kisses Scott right in front of Ramona. I don't think they'd kissed until that point either. At least they hadn't showed it on camera. So that was kind of
no, they had
that was
not.
kind of a wild time to do it.
Well, she was over at his Battle of the Bands, you know. It was a big moment for her.
I guess. I kind of love her bob in this moment though.
Yeah, she
But she
comes in, she's like, "You like my new hair?" I mean, like I said, they're being real racist with it. Like they're
Yeah.
making her more
I-
and more stereotypical as it goes.
I think it looks good. But
Yeah, I mean, like she's rocking it, but it was racist.
oh, yeah. Yeah. Scott nopes out of this situation, noticing that both of the women that he's invited to this place are there. While Crash and the boys hit the stage, Wallace hits on Scott's sister's boyfriend, which isn't going to stay her boyfriend for very long because Wallace is that kind of guy. So Wallace is me at every show though, because he's like, this is Crash and these are my boys. And he goes, is that girl a boy too? And she goes, yes, and flips her off.
Yeah, it was like an 8-year-old child.
It really was. Yeah, I choked on it. All right.
That's crazy.
And they they do a song called So Sad. And it's just them going, so sad. And then that was the song.
That was a good song. I wasn't mad at it.
You know? I've heard worse, for sure. One of them says, and then Wallace yells, "We hate you." And he goes, "Oh yeah, well, this is for that guy that's yelling at us. We hate you, please die." I like that song better. That's a cool song.
It
And
was a pretty good song. It wasn't
yeah,
bad.
Stills has a mental breakdown because he's like, holy shit, these guys are actually really good and we suck. Scott interrupts Ramona, who's about to talk to Knives, and they're going to figure out, like, hey, we know each other and we're both dating the same guy. He's like, we have to play and we have to play loud right now. And he goes on there and they play their thing, which is Garbage Truck, which I still like that song a lot. And fucking Knives passes out from just pure excitement. And I'm like, girl, you deserve better.
You remember when bitches used to do that shit back in the day for Elvis and like the Beatles, like in real
Yeah.
life? They'd be playing,
why are we
and they'd just be
passing
like, "Ah," and just fall out. Like, damn. Like, I want
There's
to know that power. Maybe they had to get, I don't know. That's crazy.
Someone passes out for Elvis. They need a mental evaluation. Like Kim says, he's always just up there like,
I'm talking like young, brand new Elvis and shit.
yeah, that's what he sounded like.
Oh, I mean,
Is
I
that
guess.
not what he sounded like?
What did you say
Nah.
people sound like when they do Elvis? What, having how many dicks in their mouth?
That was Kim.
Oh,
That was Kim also. Or maybe it was me like riffing off of what Kim said, but she definitely always starts the Elvis conversations and talks about how he sounds.
I'm gonna have to ask her to do it. I have her send me like a like an audio thing so we can put it into the show.
I probably have one somewhere if I just go through the audio that Kim sends me on a daily basis. I have so many saved audio clips of the weird shit. She'll just wake up in the morning and send me some like schizo shit.
Love it. So in mid-set, Ace Attorney at Law crashes through the ceiling and reminds Scott that, hey, we got to fight. That guy looks like Ace Attorney at Law, doesn't he?
I'm trying to remember who I like when you're saying that. I feel like I remember it.
The one that's like, objection.
Yes. Okay.
And I couldn't get it out of my head. So Scott blocks Ace's attorney's first strike and then kachows him in the face. Chuck Norris roundhouse kicks him, sending him flying back, and then uppercuts him. And I put combo breaker. We need somebody to do it here. I can't. Where's the guy that
John?
Yeah,
We don't have John here to be like combo breaker. That's the best I can do.
yeah. Apparently, this guy is Matthew Patel, and he's the first Evil X. The fight ensues. There's dance moves. There's emails, leg sweeps. Scott is holding his own, which I think is bullshit because this guy looks like he could beat his ass.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Scott looks like he'd get his ass beat by everyone in this. I was also just watching like his action sequences throughout the movie and just how he did it. I mean, they were doing just a lot of close-ups and fast shots because every time you see him actually moving his arms or doing something, it does not look like someone who would be winning a fight or even knows how to choreograph or knows how to like replicate what was choreographed to them.
Correct. It's just kind of like
Pretty
you get a 10-year-old, you're like, all right, pretend you can beat his ass, and it's like,
that's very much how Michael Cera took this. I mean, I don't think he tried it all legitimately.
which is sad. One guy yells at Adam. He's like, "What does he look like a pirate?" And he goes, "Pirates are in this year." That's not funny, but I thought.
When have pirates ever been in?
Wait, no, I'm actually wondering, when did Pirates of the Caribbean come out? When those,
that might have been the only.
Those had to
Johnny
have been,
Depp.
Yeah,
What?
those had to have been around that time, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay,
so.
the first one came out 2003. One of them came out in 2007, and then one came out in 2011, right after the movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, Pirates were probably in.
Yeah.
I have like an uncle that would dress as Jack Sparrow like every single year on Halloween, and he would just like walk around with a bottle of rum and just get like shit faced. Dude never drank, never got drunk or anything, but then on Halloween he would dress as Jack Sparrow and be a pirate all night and get shit faced. So yeah, pirates were in. I think this is accurate.
Yeah. All right. It was just a funny statement. I'm just like, pirates are in. Okay. And then we get the Ramona backstory of why she dated him. Apparently, they just beat the ass of every jock and they fell in love with each other. So, all right.
Yeah. That's
and it says on here that they only kissed once. And you become an evil ex for only kissing a girl once.
That could happen, right?
I've kissed girls more times than this, and they're not lining up to beat my ex's asses.
To be fair, that's probably around the amount of times that me and Bree kissed, and she's definitely my evil ex, and has definitely come back to attack me.
Oh, I think
it's accurate.
Okay, well, all right.
Yeah.
After that, we get Bollywood dance fights. There's magic. There's fireballs, and we got demon hipster chicks that are just kind of swinging their hips. And then we have Ace Attorney. Now he is Ace Attorney Pirate at Law. Huh? He incinerates people. Did you see that? There's people that are just in the background and he throws a fireball. They're just fucking gone. People are murdered in this movie.
Sorry, Nia just sent me a cup pong and I just fucked her up. I just got like 5 in one turn.
Get it, Nia?
Go on.
Anyway. You can do it, Nia. Did you guys just play? Is that how you do that?
We have not played that in like forever. It's just one of those iMessage games. I just looked at my text. I thought she sent me something important. It was cup pong.
Oh,
so okay. I was like, all right, I guess I'm just going to respond real quick.
All right. So after he incinerates those people, Scott breaks away and yeets a cymbal like from the drum set right at this guy's face. He is stunned and Mortal Kombat uppercuts him and it's KO. He turns into fucking coins and it's insulting that he's only worth $2.40. What is this, capitalism?
I think it's accurate. I wouldn't pay more than that for that guy.
No, I don't know. Ace Attorney Pirate at Law. That's kind of funny. He could be a child entertainer.
And I'm looking at Ellen Wong's IMDb right now, the chick that plays Knives Chow. She kind of baddie. Okay. All right. Ellen Wong, I see you. Okay. All right. Sorry. Move on.
This is see, my point's making more sense every time.
Which one?
That he should end up with knives.
Not in the movie. No.
Come on.
Not in the movie. In real life, I'll take knives though.
Okay.
Hey, what up, Ellen Wong? If you're listening, I did not say that.
I'm just gonna start adding everybody on Instagram and just to see if they'll respond to this for you.
That's real. You're like the most real wingman.
Truth. Ramona disappears into the night and Sex Babam wins because how wouldn't you win when you have a fucking sexy fight for your stage show? Good luck to everybody else. Sorry.
Fair.
On the bus ride home, Ramona tells him that there are apparently going to be 7 evil exes, I guess now 6, and they kiss. Seinfeld music plays. Wallace is flipping bacon.
Mhm.
Scott doesn't want Wallace gaying up the place for their second date. Yep. Genuinely, it happens.
That's fire.
And for the second date, he doesn't want him gaying up the place, which, come on, Scott. Are we doing this as... Come on. Wallace's ultimatum is break up with Knives or he's going to be there the whole time. And then this is where we're introduced to Lucas, whatever that guy's. I don't know what his name is. It's Captain America. I'm not going to call him anything other than Captain America or Chris Evans. Sorry, guys.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, when you first see him, I kind of forgot he was in this movie, and then I saw him briefly, and I was like, does he come back, or is it just that one scene? But no, Chris Evans is here.
Yeah, he sure is. Scott calls Knives from a payphone, and she just happens to be there. They go to the CD store. Knives invites him out to dinner. Oh, are you ready for it? This is the most racist line I've ever heard in a movie. Pause. Are you allowed to date outside your race?
That's right after he asked if it was
Chinese food.
He was coming over for Chinese food too.
Yep. And I went, what the fuck? I didn't realize
coming over for seafood boil.
I mean, I don't like seafood, but I don't know if that's
amazing. But no,
yeah.
Okay. So, side story: there was this one time that I was dating this. I'm just gonna say Asian girl because that's how my grandma saw it. She was Taiwanese, but my grandma just saw someone with squinty eyes, and they were like, "Oh, Asian person. All right, cool." So she's over one time, and she's making like I think she was making stir fry or something, and then this girl that I was dating walked up to her, and she was like, "Oh yeah, what are you making?" Blah blah blah. She was just like, "Oh yeah, I'm making stir fry, but I'm sure you guys make it a lot better." And I was like, "Please stop immediately."
That's always people from that generation are just like subtly racist. They don't mean bad by it, but they're like, no, I meant good.
Yeah, definitely not a great moment, but
I grew up in an Italian family, and my grandma would say the most outlandish shit like about people from Sicily.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was crazy. But yeah. Eric, do you have any racist stories?
Oh, no. Eric got some racist stories.
Not funny ones.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. But up. Let's move on. Scott just looks at her and goes, I think we should break up, after Knives tells her that she loves him. Dick move, Scott. Dick move, but at least you did it, I guess.
He didn't, though.
He did. And I said, at this point, Scott and Ramona kind of deserve each other for all the shit that they pull. At band practice, he broke up with Knives, but learned the bass line for Final Fantasy II, so I guess that's something.
True.
Ramona shows...
This was the moment that he broke up with her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ramona shows up with blue hair, and she looks great. Honestly.
Oh, yeah. He's very intimidated by that, though. He doesn't like it.
I would be, too. I'd be like, damn.
He's like, oh, my God, this woman does what she wants. I'm horrified by this.
Ooh, do I get an oh my god on our podcast? I thought I
There
have to
we
pay for
go.
that. I got a cameo here for that shit.
Oh fuck.
All right. And I guess date 2 is now. Scott is making her dinner. And this is where one of my favorite lines that I still say to this day, at least once a week, bread makes you fat. Bread
Yeah,
makes
he
you
was
fat.
very perplexed by that, but
Yeah.
I mean, bread, gluten.
Yeah, and that's literally all I can eat with my stomach issues. So,
Bread, gluten.
yeah, genuinely.
Oh, sounds good.
Hey, I lost 20 pounds still. So, and then he says he wrote a song about her, and it's just literally her name, but sing songy.
Yeah, it's a bad song.
Should we all try to do it?
Yeah, sure.
Ramona.
Oh no.
Eric? Nope.
Marine chip, sorry.
Yeah.
What he said one other word.
No, I think that's it. I think it was
No,
That's
there
all
was
he
one
said was-
other. Yeah. He doesn't have it.
no. All right. And then they make out, and I said Scott kind of sucks there right now, honestly, but at least he's doing the right thing. I don't know. And then they're on their walk. I kind of feel like he looks at her and says, I kind of feel like I'm on drugs when I'm with you. And I feel like that's a weird compliment, but I think I take it as a compliment.
No, that's a good compliment.
Yeah.
Drugs are fun.
Yeah.
I got
They
drugs
end up
from a random person at work the other day.
What kind of drugs?
I can't get drugs from work.
I said I had a headache, and some old lady was like, I got these pills. I think they're for headaches. And I was like, okay. And she dumped them out in my hand, and they were blue. I was like, okay. And I took them. And then I'm like, hey, you want to buy this fucking Apple Watch?
What is this? What is this transaction? I did have a coworker once, one of my lunch lady coworkers, and I think I said the same thing. I said I had like a headache or something, and she was like, "Oh, I got some pills right here. They're like my daughter's. I think they were expired or something, so she isn't taking them anymore. But if you want them here," and she handed it to me, and it was like a bottle of Perks, and I was like, "Okay, I guess that'll fix my headache."
Yeah, genuinely.
Yeah, I'm chilling
Amongst other things, you just be like, yeah, bro, let's go.
for sure.
I've never taken random drugs from anybody at my work though, so I guess I'm not as cool as you guys.
This is an old white lady, so I mean, I knew they were safe. I mean, she didn't know what the fuck she was doing.
Yeah, same. It was an old white lady. She's like, I don't know what they are, but I think they're supposed to help with
Exactly.
your head. They're blue. I'm like, bet. I'm either gonna fucking my headache's gonna be gone, or I'm gonna end up with a real hard dick for the next few hours. One of the two. Fucking goddamn. Either way,
Well, did he know?
my sales are gonna skyrocket.
Little did he know, he ended up with both.
That's
It
why I
can-
passed out.
So we end up at a castle where Captain America himself is there, and his name is Lucas Lee. That's what his name is. Scott is all of us when Chris Evans approaches him and he's punching him in the face, and he goes, "Yes, please, more of that, please." If Chris Evans punched me in the face, I'd get so turned on, and I'm not even gonna lie about it. I don't know about either of you. I'm the odd man out here. That's fine. And then he has that weird Dean Winchester kind of gravel in his voice when he's talking. And I'm not going to do it because my vocal cords are already fried from doing JoJo Siwa, but that happens. And he's beating the fuck out of Scott, just kind of yeeting him all over the place and just getting his ass kicked.
Are any of these working?
What is that?
Wait, did you not hear the other one at all?
No.
No.
What the fuck does that one not play?
Is that a cricket?
No, it's like a rim shot, you know, like a boom.
Oh, I don't hear that part.
What the fuck?
All I hear is
God damn it. Move on.
all right, we get fight 2. And basically he gets what now?
You're fine.
Scott is tricked because he has multiple different stunt doubles and he gets his ass kicked by like 15 dudes. And there's breaking skateboards, there's punches, there's anime action lines, and Scott is slowly getting taken down by all these stunt doubles. They gang up on him and stuff mudhole. See if I can do the
What?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I got
I'm gonna
you.
stump a
Stomp
mudhole.
a mud hole in his ass.
Yeah, thank
There
you. Thank you. I
Oh
appreciate
hell yeah!
it.
Oh, kind of Macho Man-y at the end.
No, mine's
Ooh yeah, brother.
yeah. I'm not gonna get a voice tomorrow. It's fine. Scott escapes and then runs action movie style like Chris Evans. Their heart beats, their speed racer action camera things, and then Chris Evans just fucking kicks Scott as hard as he can right in the chest, and he just goes flying through the castle. He lets them know that there is a league of evil exes, and he psychs Scott out because he's like, "Hey, you didn't hear about it. I get it. That's the joke." And he grabs his hand and pulls him up and just fucking punches him again right down. And Scott challenges him. He's like, "Hey, can you do a thingy on that rail?" And he's like, "It's a grind." And then Chris Evans tries to beat his score. And then it's the next scene is Chris Evans and he's trying to beat his score, and Tony Hawk gets all the way down to the end and he just fucking explodes. RIP Chris Evans.
Yeah, bro just blows up.
He really does. And there's no better way to say that. And then we're back at the studio apartment where Wallace wants him to break out the L word. And he goes, lesbians? Yes. But then
That's
Envy, right? What's that?
I just said that's true.
Yeah. I say me and my friends still to this day say that we're in lesbians with
You're
each
in
other
lesbians.
sometimes. Yeah. It's funnier to say to my lesbian friends. Envy calls Scott, which everybody shits their pants because they're like, we haven't heard from this bitch in years, and here we are. And after like the most awkward conversation of all time, Knives is outside, and Scott yeets himself out of a window to avoid this shit. He just jumps right through a window, shattering it and everything.
Yeah, this just jump through the window. He like, speaking of Super Smash Brothers, he like does the Luigi where Luigi like goes completely on his side and like power fucking yomps
He does.
into the wall. Like he straight up goes sideways through the window.
Which is pretty funny to see. And I don't think I've jumped through a window, but it was definitely open before. But all right. So then we're in an alley, and Scott is walking down there, and he's attacked by ninja whooshing words. It's not a person, it's actually like whooshes. And we have an Evil X3, and he just like kind of puts his hand up in the air, and she stopped. And it's a girl this time, but we don't know it's an Evil X yet. And she just looks at him and goes, "You punched me in the boob," which dick move, Scott. Shouldn't be punching chicks in the boobs. But she smokes bombs out of there and says, "You're gonna not know what I'm coming the next time." And I go, "Oh boy."
So funny story. That same actress is his girlfriend in fucking the other show we were just talking about that he's in.
Oh,
and
is she the little Christian chick?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay. Yeah. In the rest of Development, she starts dating Job, right?
Yeah. After dating.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew she
After
looked
dating
familiar,
him.
but I didn't place who she was. That makes perfect sense now. Okay.
And after all that, Scott goes to see his sister at work and is greeted by Julie, who's just making internet dial-up sounds with her mouth, kind of like that SpongeBob episode where they do the different porpoise noises. Which I'm into. Half the movie was just her just swearing into the camera, just making dial-up noises. That'd be something. I don't know if it'd be good, but it would be something.
It would exist.
Yeah. Ramona meets Scott at the coffee shop where they are greeted by none other than Scott's ex Envy, who is fucking banging in this movie. They discuss the past, and she kind of invites him to her show because she's like, "Oh, it'd just be awkward if you weren't there." But back at Roseanne's living room studio apartment, Wallace's and many boyfriends kind of tell Scott to go to the gig. Or no, they call him gay because he was at Ramona's place and they didn't sleep together. And they're like, "Oh, what are you, gay?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're back in the 2010s again. It's an insult." Okay. What is this? A COD like voice room or whatever? Moving on. And then I just
call
wrote
people gay in Call of Duty.
Yeah. Do they still do that?
I do.
You're a homophobic piece of shit.
Oh yeah, if I'm in a Call of Duty voice chat, I definitely have to call people gay. I'm like, you killed me? You're gay.
Listen, as long as you don't use the other ones, I guess you're fine.
I use all of them. I'm playing Call of Duty, baby, here and everything. I'm getting banned.
Just like Charles banned.
Not like that.
Oh, okay. And then I just wrote down a gig is a gig is a gig is a gig. I'm guessing it's because they got the opening gig for Envy's band. They invited
Yes.
Sex Bomb. Yeah. But I was just like, I can't believe I wrote that down correctly.
Mhm.
A gig is a gig is a gig is a gig.
Facts.
Okay. Which, yeah. Yeah, Envy wants them to open for them. Knives plots her revenge at this time, and she gets her revenge by getting highlights, which that's the most accurate thing I've ever seen in this movie so far, actually.
Incredibly accurate.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen millions of times.
and I said, honestly, you deserve better at this point, Queen, because you look great. So, okay. So at the gig, Ramona is confronted with the cool blue hair Knives. And Knives is dating young Neil, which I think is kind of crazy, but they're about closer to the age, you know? Scott and I wrote down that Scott likes water sports because Clash at the Demon Head is on takes the stage because I guess he had to pee or something. I don't know what I said that.
Okay.
I don't know why I said that. He had to piss or something. Maybe somebody peed on him. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, he spun a wheel and it was a choice to say I have to pee or something, and he said I peed on her or no or something like that, and he's like, no, I have to pee, and then he walked away.
That did happen, yeah. And then they play, honestly, this is my favorite song. Like to this day, it's one of my favorite songs. This is Black Sheep. You've listened to that song before, haven't you, Eric?
Probably forever ago.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it because I have to figure out the song for the intro for this. So maybe I'll just use Black Sheep.
Dude, it's my favorite song of all time, dude. It's hello again, friend of a friend. I knew you not gonna get sued. Sorry, guys.
It's not an OG. It's not. You're not using the actual version, so
yeah, that's not like I can do it anyway. Let's face it. You know that's actually Brie Larson singing that part too.
No,
it's not like on the soundtracks and stuff like that. But on this specific part of the movie, she actually recorded the vocals for it.
Oh,
it's one of my stupid little tidbits that I knew about that. So after I geeked out for like 45 minutes when Black Sheep is on. They get Ramona and everybody gets invited backstage after the show. There's tension. Pretty much you can cut it with a knife because everybody's an X in there and no one knows exactly what to say. And out of nowhere, Knives gets just fucking kerplowed right in the face by the bass player, and it punches the highlights right out of her hair. That's crazy. Not only did you
like the line where young Neil got like super close to the camera, he looks over, he's like, punch the highlights right out of her hair, and he's like, he punched the highlights out of her hair.
Home dude's from The Flash.
Is it really?
Her. Yeah, he played the Atom.
Young Neil? Or
You're
no?
Right.
No, the boyfriend
vegan guy.
Yeah, he was the Atom from The Flash.
That's crazy.
Big names everywhere.
Yeah. And then Scott Pilgrim I just had to write this down because he says, "You cocky cock," and I want to start using that now.
I thought he called him a cuck.
No. Well, we haven't said cuck on this episode yet, and we say it every one, so I guess thank you.
Called him a cocky cuck or a cocky cock.
Cocky cock, apparently.
I thought it was cocky cuck.
Had subtitle says cocky cock. So thanks, the Max. Apparently he has vegan powers and he force pushes him through a wall, which, this is where we learned about vegan powers. Thanks, Scott Pilgrim. And Scott is yeeted in the air, and he's in the air for like 25 minutes while he's having this whole dissertation about being vegan. And we get Todd's backstory, which is the only thing I wrote down from that is he punched a hole in the moon for Ramona. How do you dump somebody after they punch a hole in the moon for you?
Yeah, that was a pretty big thing.
Like, I don't care if they're vegan or not. I'd be like, damn, I guess we're together forever. I guess I'm learning not to be, whatever. That's crazy. And then they're talking about the vegan academy, and then out of nowhere, Scott just kind of falls back into Earth and onto this van, which he should be dead, right?
Yeah. I mean, I like I said, I don't even believe that he can fight.
Yeah. Scott uses the power of his base to attack, and they have a base off, which was kind of crazy in the middle of this fight. And Scott.
Hold up. I'm going to start the story now. So, what had happened was the other day, she came home from work, and the picture of her mom and my kid flew off from the microwave at her, and not in a place where like wind could blow it. She's super like skeptical on shit. So she's like, "Hey, I called my mom to make sure she was okay. You might want to text your mom to make sure like this isn't something, try to whatever the fuck." And I called my mom and she was good. And then I came home from work that day and stepped in the kitchen and heard something fucking clank like behind me off in the corner. And I went, "What the fuck is that?" And like I saw nothing fell and shit like that. And then yeah, we were literally sitting here and everything went off. And I'm looking down, and so I'm looking for like a power, like, oh, maybe it's out. And there's no lights. And I look and I'm like, the whole fucking power strip, the power button on the power strip got pushed to turn off, like turned it off. And I'm like, I've been sitting here and it's literally right next to me. I've been sitting here, there's been nothing. And something pushed the fucking off button on my fucking power strip that just cut off the internet and everything the fuck else. So yeah.
All
Now
right.
that I'm officially spooked the fuck out.
I know what
Continue.
that is.
Continue with the the you were at the base battle.
Yeah. Ghost or crackhead.
I didn't see nobody.
That's a game we play now, Caleb.
Ghost or crackhead?
Yeah. We watch scary videos online and we decide if it's a ghost or if it's crackhead.
Nice.
It's alarmingly a crackhead a lot of the time.
It's always a crackhead.
You've seen probably more of them than we have in our day, but
They're fucking everywhere. I don't see many of them nowadays. I still do, but not as often. But yeah, I've been around to many.
all right. So where were we? Do you remember what the last thing it says?
You started talking about the base battle right when it cut out on me.
Oh, so they have they have a base off. Okay. So then we're gonna go. Boop, boop,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we're
They're-
right after the base off.
Yeah.
They're showing their fingering techniques. Fucking
did.
working that clip. Working that clip. Come, bitch. That's how it goes.
Is that what it sounds like?
I wouldn't know. I would need you to tell me.
I need Eric to tell me. I wouldn't know.
So anyway, apparently they have a base off, and Scott is obliterated. He gets sent through like several other buildings. And this is where Scott, oh yeah, because he outthinks Todd here and puts real half and half in one of the cups and only thinks about it because he can read his mind. And he grabs the cup with the half and half, not knowing it's that one, takes a drink, and the vegan police show up, take his powers away, and Scott Pilgrim headbutts him as hard as he can in the head and kills the man on the spot. Which I wish I could headbutt and murder somebody. That'd be crazy. I mean, I guess he
I've done
could.
it.
We saw
what
a guy
happened.
almost die from headbutts.
Yeah, we did. Chris Benoit did that. Probably, allegedly. All right. And then after that, we get into like a kind of a bar scene where Scott and Ramona are just fighting. And he's like, hey, I'm tired of fighting all of your evil exes, which honestly, at this point, I get it. But you shouldn't be bringing it up the way Scott is because he's like, he's trying to put a body count number. He's trying to slut shame her, kind of. That's kind of whatever. And as they're arguing, because he keeps saying evil ex-boyfriends, and he keeps correcting her, saying evil exes. And out of nowhere, we get that girl from the beginning, the ninja girl again, who kind of shows up and is like, hey, I'm Roxy, and let's fight. And he goes, oh my God, you dated a girl? And she goes, oh, it was just a phase. and then I stare at the camera because I'm like, come on.
It's just a phase, Ricky.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'll grow out of
wanna
it
know
any
what?
day.
You know that
I just
phase
remembered that I
where-
bought fucking turtle Chex Mix. I'm sorry, I'm high as fucking giraffe pussy right now. And I remember that I fucking bought turtle Chex Mix. I'm
Wait,
like, fuck yeah, Chex
pause.
Mix and caramel and peanuts and shit. Let's
Okay.
go, nah, nigga, let's go.
I thought you meant like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle style Chex Mix that was like green.
Oh no.
That'd be crazy if that happened. Maybe Caleb, were you alive when turtle pies were a thing?
That sounds so familiar. Explain a turtle pie.
Teenage Mutant
There-
Ninja Turtles had a pie that was like a hostess pie.
Oh,
And it had the
was
green
literal
insides?
Green one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember that shit. Aren't they like very limited edition now? Like they're like, don't they
They're
sell for a
out?
very high price now?
If they're out, they're fucking full of fucking drugs.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's
all the
probably
old
true.
school drugs that used to be in that shit. That's why all that shit used to be delicious. We had a whole conversation how things don't taste as good now as they used to back in the day. Little Debbie's used to fucking slap. Now it's like, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I used to fill my Jinko jean pockets full of hundreds of zebra cakes and fucking nutty bars and shit, and walk out of 7-Eleven with just a Slurpee. And that's all I paid for. But fucking, it used to be fucking so much more delicious than now. Maybe it's because I'm spending money on them. And that's why they don't taste the same.
The fuck are you, Napoleon Jankomite?
I'm Mexican, nigga. That's what it is.
Oh boy. Homophobia and Jinko stealing aside, Ramona stops Roxy from kicking Scott Pilgrim's actual fucking face off because that probably would have killed him at that point, that one kick. And then she summons a giant sledgehammer and the two of them kind of fight, the two girls. There's glass shattering, there's smashing. Wallace wants one of them to kick the other one in the balls. There's flips, there's kicks, there's slashing whips. Ramona's hammer is thrown out of a window and Scott doesn't want to fight a girl. So Ramona uses her, like Scott Pilgrim's body, to like slap and kick and punch and everything. And then out of nowhere, when it looks like he's about to lose, she yells, "Her weak spot is in her knees." And Scott touches the back of her knee and she orgasms to death.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's gross.
mean,
it
I
happened.
feel like that's not a terrible way to die. I mean,
I could think of worse ones for sure.
Why do you orgasm from the back of your knee being touched?
Some people be like that.
yeah.
Maybe it's like, people orgasm when they look at balloons and shit. So, whatever. I don't.
Yeah, that's a problem. What the fuck are we talking about? Are you a fucking idiot? What the fuck? What am I even hearing right now?
At this point of the day, it's hard to tell. And then it's kind of Scott just being an asshole for a while. And he's like, it feels like we just washed our sexy laundry in public. That's a fun phrase. I want to use that so much. And then apparently she said something about I'm gonna not say this right, the Katanagawis twins. I don't know how to say their name.
Fuck you call me?
Yeah, I don't know what I called anybody. But they're twins. They're going to be evil exes. And Stills is back at the place, at the Shameless place, and he is describing kind of what they are. They're Japanese. They're perfect. They're handsome, according to him. Because if you read the little diagram he's got, I'm like, okay, whatever. And then it's literally a battle of the bands is the next scene. It's his band versus the two people who are kind of like DJs. And there's music notes and anime magic style things that are happening.
Meh? What's an anime meh?
I don't know anymore.
Sound like something Cartman would say. It's an anime meh.
It is now. Come on, guys, it's anime. They fight by playing Threshold, which is still a banger to this day. I love that song. I love the soundtrack still, honestly. Watching the movie again just made me love it more.
Great soundtrack. Yeah,
It really
can't
is.
deny that.
And then there's twin dragons that emerge from like the sound waves.
Dragons?
Listen, I'm tired.
Tween Double Dragon.
Is that what it is?
Remember
Tween?
remember Double Dragon, the fucking game and movie?
Yeah. Yeah. What was the movie? We have to cover that now. Double Dragon, the movie. Remember that one?
Yeah, I just watched it on Tubi the other day. It's fucking
still out.
terrible.
It would be on Tubi.
It's fucking rough.
We should cover that for sure. What was I? Okay, the Threshold, the Twin Dragons, the Tween Dragons.
Caleb, are
as I'm
you
gonna call them.
spitting in a trash can?
Yeah.
Okay. This whole time I've been watching you, my nigga, and I'm like, I really hope this man's not just spitting on his fucking floor. If anything, I was waiting for the pating shit.
For an actual fucking, if I had an actual like a little spit jar,
Spittoon?
that'd be crazy.
Yeah, but I'm like, keep seeing you lean. You're like, shit. I'm like, what the fuck? I really hope there's not. He's not spit on his floor, or there's just not some fucking bitch that just gets off on this shit. She's like, he's from Horror Soup. Just spit all over me. I'll lay here this whole episode and just fucking cover you with snot and shit, and then later you're
Mouth
just gonna...
open, just laying there, like just
Yeah.
waiting, just completely silent, not saying a word, still for 3 hours.
Yep.
My own
when
personal.
when we're done,
human
you're just gonna
spittoon.
fucking bang her, fucking spray all over, fucking set her outside to fucking Taquita's taint shop to get sprayed down, remove
you
all the
done
DNA.
This was very descriptive. You've done this.
Yeah, man. That's the benefit of having Tequila right out here. You get a little too messy. She's got her kiddie pool.
Don't put Tequila through that.
Listen, she's
She
seen
uses
worse.
Dial like she's cleaning off the fucking baby ducks. Except she's removing fucking sperm. She's just holding fucking little Horror Soup fangirls in her arms while scrubbing fucking Caleb DNA off them with Dawn. It's gonna be okay. We'll release you back out into the wild.
Bro, I need to be released back into the wild after this.
Oh, all right.
Horror Soup has no affiliation with Eric.
Fuck, there goes our chance of being the possums of Morbid. Just off in the corner somewhere, hiding in the shadows until somebody needs us for something.
I don't need to be
Till-
famous.
till-
I just need to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
When Eric says for something, he means to be a spittoon for someone.
Fuck it.
Eric's on standby.
Yeah.
How much money we making being spittoons?
Trust
I'm
me, if
at
I'm
that
paying someone to be my spittoon, I'm paying you nothing.
Oh, well, then I'm out.
It's out of the principle of it.
I'm gonna go tell Tequila that she's out. Then she can't be part of the network.
Trust me, you can make money off of being a spittoon, but you're gonna have to put a lot of hours in.
I mean, how much more? I mean, I already have a full-time job.
Take
Just
some
saying.
sick time, buddy.
Well, I have like over 100 hours of sick time, so let's
go. Ricky's ready.
Listen, if I tell them that I took sick time to go become a spittoon for money,
They would promote you.
Suddenly the president of the company.
Your CEO the next day.
yeah,
This guy has pizzazz.
secretly the CEO has been Vince McMahon the whole time, and he's just into it.
They said wrestling's not real.
It's very real, damn it. So I don't even remember where I was now. Oh, the tween dragons, because you're gonna make fun of me for that again.
Nothing really even happens with them. I mean, like they bring out big dragons to punch the band members, and then the band members get back up. They're like, "Let's do it louder," and then a big ol' I don't know, like a sacrificial demon thing comes out, and then it punches the dragons, and then they die.
I called it an
right?
I called
It's
it
a
an
gorilla.
electric yeti.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a gorilla. Also, I've seen similar amp setups like that, like the Asian people when I went and saw Lamb of God live. That's how their fucking setup is on their stage, is just fucking speakers on speakers. And that shit, I ended up with ear damage after seeing them. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's all
They're
well and
loud.
fun, but did Lamb of God, when you saw them, did they play that song that's like, gonna walk down to Electric Avenue? Did they do that one? The
They
classic?
did. They had fucking flame, fucking pyro and shit, bro.
Stupid.
Yeah.
They didn't play Electric Avenue.
They were just like, Electric Avenue, boom, fire went off. And yeah.
There you go. There's your claim to fame, Eric.
You know what we never mentioned about this whole thing?
Hmm.
One of the Culkin brothers is that gay roommate.
No, Wallace?
Yeah.
That's a. Is this one of those times where you say it's a Culkin brother and then it ends up not being a Culkin
No,
brother?
this is literally a Culkin brother this time. This is Kieran
Okay.
Culkin.
Come on.
That's Kieran Culkin, I promise you.
It's late enough at night that I'm just gonna be like, I'll allow it.
I'm not even for once, I'm not even lying about this. That is a Culkin brother. I mean, just think about it for a second. Just think about his face.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
That's
a Culkin brother.
Yeah, look it up. Go ahead. I'll wait for you to do it.
I don't want to.
Just look up Kieran Culkin. Wallace. That's all you have to do. And it'll be right there. And then you'll know. You're struggling. Do you know how to spell?
No.
Hey
Do you
Google,
need
was
me to
Kieran Culkin and Scott
Oh God,
Pilgrim?
no.
Do you need
Holy
me to
shit, that
send
is
you
Wallace.
a keyboard?
Kieran Culkin plays Wallace Wells in Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Told you, you bitch.
All right. Listen, you know I was right to doubt you, probably.
Look, just because a lot of people have those stupid fucking dead eyes like them doesn't mean that this isn't a Culkin. That's a Culkin, and
That's
I
fair.
know a Culkin through and through. I actually looked that up because I was looking at him and I was like, that has to be a Culkin.
I'll allow it.
Thank you.
All right. Scott earns a 1-up. Knives tries to be supportive. Scott leaves her for Ramona. He is in lesbians with Ramona. And then Ramona says that she has to break up with Scott because she's into Gideon, and that is her weakness.
Mr. G.
Yeah.
Mr.
That's a
G
weird name.
spot.
Listen, Scott Pilgrim made somebody come to death.
He did make someone come to death, so maybe he is Mr. G spot.
That's the name of the episode. Scott Pilgrim made somebody come to death.
Scott Pilgrim is Mr. G spot.
There it is. Stills immediately signs the contract without even thinking about it. But then they're like, hey, Scott, you're just fucking out. Young Neil's in. And then there's a sad montage after Gideon kind of takes off with Ramona. Scott's sister meets him for a pep talk. Scott kind of goes home and sees Scott goes home and inadvertently sees some guy's junk. And then Wallace needs his own bed for sex at that point. Ramona is out with Gideon, and it's probably because he's better than you. And I said, wow. Wallace is the shadiest of the shady bitches, and I appreciate that. The phone rings, and it's Gideon, and he pets. This is creepy, too, because he pets Ramona like a dog in this while he's talking, and that was really kind of...
That did happen.
It did. Gideon invites Scott for a final fight, and Wallace calls Gideon a perfect asshole, and I'm using that all the time now. I'm like, that guy's being a perfect asshole. I invite everybody to use that insult now. And then we have a suit up scene where Scott is putting on his coat and his, jeans and whatever. And then he takes like 30 seconds to tie his shoes, which that's how long it takes you to tie your shoes, but come on. And then he gets to the place where the final fight's going to be. The one he asked what the password was, and he goes, whatever. And that's the password. And the second password is just an elongated sigh.
Nice. That's my password as well.
Yeah. Just
get it.
That's my password on life.
And now we're in the Genius Crust Punk Bar is what I call this place, because look at it. And then Gideon welcomes Scott. Scott earns the power of love. And basically it's a flaming sword, and he kind of ninja just ka-chows everybody. There's like 15 different henchmen he just destroys. And then Gideon just fucking obliterates him with this kind of action style.
Gideon was Ringo Starr in Walk Hard.
He sure was. He sure was.
Claim to fame.
Remember when Walk Hard was like the best?
Is that why he looks familiar?
Walk Hard still is the best thing in the world.
Dude, Walk Hard's best.
Well, he's also Gag Halfront in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh.
What?
He's like that dude with the long ass beard. He looks like a caveman.
Wasn't he in that Superhuman or the Super Show, whatever the fuck?
I swear to God, he's in something
TV.
else too. There's something that
TV.
I feel like I'm missing.
Probably.
Because he looks very familiar, but he also just looks like a lot of people.
He does.
Continue, Rick, while he searches.
Yeah. Knives helps him. She shows up out of nowhere and does like this kick thing. She's got size. And but she's not there to help Scott Pilgrim. She's there to fight Ramona. And I think that's kind of fucked up. We've got Ramona versus Knives and Scott versus Gideon. There's slicing, there's dicing, there's insults, there's confusion. Somebody does a spear, and then there's a Hurricane Rana off of something. Scott cheats on, and then he just says that, hey, he skeeted on Ramona, apparently. He cheats on Ramona and Knives at the same time, and he finally admits it. And I go, well, at least you finally did that, you fucker. And then Gideon, while this is happening, stabs him right through the heart, and Scott is dead. And then we're in the desert again. Ramona tells Scott that maybe she wasn't the one worth fighting for, as she turns into sanding, just kind of flies away like a fly in Amityville.
Nice.
Scott, yeah. TM. Scott is dead, but he's earned a 1-up, and he decides he's going to use that right then and there. And then he's back at the final fight with Gideon, and now he decides that young Neil is now going to be called Neil.
He is now Neil, which that's a good upgrade.
Yeah, I agree. And then Scott apologizes to Kim for being an asshole, and he earns the power of self-respect, which good for him. It's about time. And again, Scott wastes all of the henchmen and slices through Gideon, and then Knives kicks Ramona like pretty hard in the fucking face at this point, because she comes out of nowhere and just ka-chows him. Scott stops her and then tells her the truth that he cheated on her and that he's sorry, which big steps, honestly, for being such an asshole for 80% of this movie. I'm like, all right, kid, I get it.
Yeah, it's better than anything he's done previously on screen. So
yeah. And then he looks down at Ramona because Knives called her a fat ass, and he's like, you're not a fat ass. Good. I'm glad he had to take the time for that. And then we have Scott versus Gideon for real. And then he does like ninja signals like it's fucking Naruto, and just makes a Sega CD sword that comes out of nowhere that looks like it's glitching in the Matrix. And Knives intervenes by making, and then he hits Gideon in the face, and he swallows his gum, and he's like, that's going to stay in my stomach for 7 years, which is not true.
I was going to say, that's not real, right?
That's not real.
That's what
Your stomach acid
for
can
real?
take out it.
I'm pretty sure it's for real.
It's not for real. Your stomach acid can destroy most things, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, that's rubber.
It's not. It can't be just rubber. Not like the movie Rubber.
The movie Rubber. You mean
Yeah.
Flubber?
No, rubber. That's just like a tire.
He means rubber.
What the fuck is rubber?
Have you never seen them?
Tire that kills people.
Yeah.
What? Okay. Don't never seen that.
Okay.
Yeah, it says it's not real.
See, I told you. I'm wise sometimes. And then Gideon nearly wastes Scott, but then we get Ramona who enters the fray. Gideon kicks Ramona down the stairs pretty fucking hard. He just kicks her as hard as he can in the ribs and just knocks her down all the flights of stairs. And then Knives and Scott do a Persona all-out attack on Gideon, which was pretty amazing to see, honestly. And then they beat his whole ass, I said, which, yeah. And you see him down there, and he's kind of like gasping for breath, and he goes, ugh, his glasses crack. And he said, you know how long it took to get all of the Evil X's information? 2 hours.
Speaking of 2 hours, you want to hear a gum story?
Yeah.
I stopped chewing gum / swallowing gum around 8th grade. When I was 19, I had to have surgery and I had to drink Go Lightly, which is this nasty saltwater tasting drink that flushes your system clean. You drink 1 gallon over 2 hours, and then you were in the bathroom every 20 minutes for the next 8 hours. Your insides are empty going into surgery. After surgery, it takes days to use the bathroom regularly again. After 5 days, I sat on the toilet, and the only thing that came out was an old piece of chewing gum. Clean as a whistle. Still tasted minty, too.
Oh.
Ate it.
Yeah.
Go on.
There's some ass mouth for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So then he looks at Gideon and he goes, Gideon is in fact going to blow up, like right now, genuinely. Scott punts him in the face, and just like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, he dusts into coins and just kind of scatters everywhere into the sun. Scott leans down and he picks up Gideon's glasses, and then in the background we see a black and white version of him, and it's Nigga Scott. So he has to fight himself.
I thought they said nigga Scott. When I was watching it, they're like, now you gotta face nigga Scott. I was like, oh shit. This Scott from Oakland. You have to show up.
I don't know who would win that fight, honestly. Oh, clearly it's going to be that version of Scott. And then seconds later, the girls are waiting outside as they expect this epic battle to have, and they just kind of walk out casually, just having a conversation. Apparently, he's going to get brunch with them next week because they have a lot in common, which that makes sense. You made, make friends with your demons. Helps out. And after all that, kind of Scott and Knives are getting kind of chummy, and Ramona's like, well, time to be hitting that old dusty trail. Decides she wants to get out of there. But Knives wants Scott to kind of go after Ramona, which I think is weird. I think he should have ended up with Knives right here. And we can talk about that if you want. But Knives is a better match for him. I don't think Ramona is.
I don't think that's true.
Eric, tiebreaker.
What's the question?
Who should Scott Pilgrim have ended up with, Knives or Ramona?
He should have ended up alone.
Well,
that's fair.
There's all three. Good enough. And then she says that she is too cool for him, which is 100%. Knives is amazing. And then we get Ramona's theme kind of swells, and Scott walks up to her and he wants to try again. And then the duo hold hands and they walk into a door with 1 star. The end.
Yeah, talking about the movie, I almost feel like I like it less, but I don't. Like, I enjoy watching it, but talking about it, it sounds really stupid. Like, just looking back on it, like
it's weird, isn't it? Because I love this movie.
Yeah, I love this movie. I think it's a really good movie. It's very fun to watch. I'm not bored at all watching it, but just describing it makes it sound like awful. Like, if I just described this movie to someone, they would definitely think that I hated it by the time I got finished with the explanation.
That's what I was worried about, because when it's one of your favorite things and you try to cover it, especially for something like this, I'm like, oh, I'm going to end up fucking hating it when I'm done. And I didn't that much. I didn't like it.
I still love the movie.
Yeah.
It's still a very good movie. But
and I think,
I would never want to like tell someone that I like this movie and then like, they don't know what it is and then have to explain what it is to them. Like, I feel like that would just get really weird. I'd be like, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. My Letterboxd review for this is just video game references hide how Scott Pilgrim is an awful human being. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't write anything. I actually went back to see if I ever wrote anything about it, but I didn't. I just gave it a rating, which I don't do for many movies, but I think it's probably for the reason that I just stated. I don't know what to say about it. It's just like, yeah, I like watching it. It's a cool movie.
Yeah, that he's a shitty human being until the last 10 minutes of the movie, and it's really hard to root for him. Like, how do you tell people that?
100%. I mean, but it's a fun movie. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long ass time since I've seen it. I enjoy action movies, so the fight scenes and shit were all cool. But yeah,
I actually think that was the worst part.
The fight scenes.
Yeah. It's just Michael Cera going like.
I literally also like watched half this movie, paused it, left, went to the laundromat, did like fucking laundry for like an hour and a half, some shit, went to the grocery store, came back and then finished it, and then fell asleep towards the end on the couch. But I mean, it was still fun.
You watched it the right way, I feel.
Proper.
Yeah.
How else do people watch movies? Like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm too old to like sit down and watch a movie in a full sitting a lot of times. Like, I'm just like sitting around. I'm just like,
it took me 3 days to watch Wonka on fucking HBO.
It's like, so hard for me to finish a movie. I'm like, can you do a movie in 3 parts, like a TV show?
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for the fact that I was writing narratives for the movie, it would take me as long as you guys do. But I have to like pay attention so much to what's going on, and I
Yeah,
pause it so much.
100%.
I'm like, ugh. So like, when he told me at the last second when we did the Wonka episode, he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do that." I'm like, I have to do this in like 6 hours, don't I? Yep. Okay. So, have you seen that movie? This is
The new
our
one with like Timothy Chalamet or whatever.
Charlamont.
Is that how you pronounce it?
No,
I was gonna say, I was like, have I been doing this wrong this whole time?
that's just me being an asshole.
No, I have not seen it. I heard it was actually no. Did I hear anything about it? What is it good? Is it bad?
It's fun.
Yeah, I can't be the one to tell you about it because it's hard for
Hated
me.
it.
It's hard for me to
He
disconnect.
watched it after watching fucking Quiet on the Set at home, dude. And this little girl have a brother-sister relationship, and they have a little dancing scene, and he like gets all weird about it. So
Wait, you said there was a brother fucking a sister, and
no, there's
Timothy
a brother.
Chalamet.
No,
That's what it sounded like.
You said there was a brother fucking a sister, and Timothy Chalamet, Charlie and the
no,
Chocolate
I said,
Factory, right?
yeah, no, that's not what I said.
Wait, legitimately, what did you say?
I said there was a brother and sister type scene of them dancing together, relationship shit.
I'm hearing the same thing.
Nah, nigga.
Caleb, one of the lines is, "How do you like your chocolate? Light, dark, nutty, or absolutely insane?" He says this to like an 8-year-old girl.
Okay. What was that supposed to mean?
How she likes her chocolate. Y'all gonna
Yeah.
woke the fuck out of this and piss me off. We end up fist fighting.
Yeah, he got real mad at me for a while for that. He's like, "Just let me enjoy things." And I'm like, I haven't enjoyed anything in 10 years.
To be honest, fellas, I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
I'm confused by
Cool.
this whole
So we're
conversation.
this will lead us into our next part towards the end of the show then. So every person that we have on this show, I ask them the same set of questions. So you're gonna answer with the first thing that pops in your head.
Okay, just
So-
immediate, don't think about it type
Yep.
beat.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. What's the first thing you think of or do when you wake up?
Eggplant.
Hot or cold?
What?
Hot or cold?
Medium.
You'll answer all the not answers. Tacos or hamburgers?
Hot dog.
Fucking, we're gonna fucking fist fight when we see each other. I'm gonna power bomb you, with glass and shit.
Next
All
question.
the chicken wings. You do boneless or bone in?
Seasoned bone.
Blow job or hand job?
Blowfly. The blowfly girl from that story.
Okay. Ass or titties?
S.
How many times a day do you think about sex?
Medium.
Favorite cereal of all time?
Raisin Bran.
Come
If
on.
you were stuck on an island for a year and you could only listen to 3 albums, what would they be?
Raisin Bran.
That sounds sick. If you could remake a movie and star in it, what would it be?
It would probably be like Thanksgiving, and I would be the turkey, or I would be in the room, and I would be Tommy Wiseau, or I would be in like Dogface, a Trap House Horror, and I would be the dog.
What's your favorite movie scene of all time?
The little cabbage heads from Motel Hell when the farmer Vincent, he's like, oh, look at all my cabbage out here, and their heads and their throats are slit, and they're going like, oh, they sound like Helen Keller, but they're cabbage. I like that.
If I had $1 every time I heard someone say blank, I'd be rich.
P.
And when I die, I want to be remembered for
Piss.
cool. And that's the end of that.
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah, nice.
So
It
if you
worked
want to fucking end this shit out, Rick, with the socials and
Yeah.
all this
We-
shit, and we'll
Thanks, Caleb, for being on the show. It's always fun to hang out.
Hell yeah, doggies. Thanks for having me.
And do you want to tell people where you can find you?
Just anywhere. Just search Horror Soup. Search Scream with an exclamation point. Their podcasts. Search them everywhere. I don't know. There's other shit out there. You search those things, you'll find most things.
Right on. And our show is Wide Range of Conversations, which is Wide Range of Convo on Instagram. We now have a YouTube. We just got approved. We're going to have for our 989 network, we're going to have a table at the Bay City or the Tri-City Pride Festival this week.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Or
There's
whatever
gonna
that
be
is.
a wider range of conversations brought to you by TNT Toys and Collectibles too.
Oh yeah.
It's a wide array of conversations. Get
It's
it
a
right.
wider range.
It's never going to be that.
He's like Jason.
He is.
Him and
He's like, it's
Jason would get
wrong.
along.
And I'm like, it could be anything I want it to be.
I'll still never get over starting the episode and saying it wrong and being like, that would be stupid if it was the other one. Then you guys are like, yeah,
Let me live my life.
oh fuck.
As I just like burp vomit myself over here. I'm not charted at all my socials. Eric is _Eric__ 989. You can find us out. I'm drunk and I haven't even drank anything. You can find us on the 989.network where we're going to have, I think we just added a sports show to it, which I have no idea what the fuck that's all about, but
Sports balls.
they literally,
Dude.
no shit, Caleb. They sent
Yo.
us like this hour-long thing. They're like, listen to it. And I'm like, what did I say? I'm like, the title is fucking garbage, but it's not bad. I just don't know what they're talking
Yeah.
about.
And I was like, yo, we got already too many B names in the shit. And I'm like, figure it out. And like we completely they just changed their name. Like,
Really?
yeah, they're about to change their name. Like we didn't mean to bully them. I don't know what Eddie said to him, but fucking they're like, what if we're just like the 989 Sportscast? Like, okay, I had other funny names like, you know, balls, beers, or balls like suds and buds or whatever the fuck. They're trying to have a weed funny name and shit, whatever the fuck. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
We didn't mean the big boss on them, but oops.
Always, yeah. I just said like that. I think I genuinely told him that the name was trash, and then I felt bad after saying it. But I was having a rough day yesterday, so. But yeah, those are the places you can find us.
Wide array of conversations, smashing dreams.
You know, depending on the time of day, I just smash dreams left and right. You can ask any of my friends. I got older and cuntier as the older I get. So
See you next Tuesday, bud.
back at you. But yeah, we thank you so much for joining us. You know where to find us. I don't know how to end this. Usually Eric just ends it.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks, Caleb, again for showing up, man. To our fucking most randomness of randomness. But it's just friends hanging out, and that's what we do. So appreciate it. A lot of you will not see any of the nods and laughing that Caleb did because we have no video version because he responded to a lot of things without saying shit. Just was like, yeah, I get it. And he smoked a lot of blunts. Anyway, we'll check y'all later. Peace out. Did you enjoy this episode? Then check out more at 989.network, Mid-Michigan's premier podcast network.